In 1992, driver Bobby Rahal had one of the best seasons of his career. In a 16-race series, he placed well and won 4 times to become the Indy Car champion. But Rahal wanted more. He wanted to win in a car of his own design. Phoenix International Raceway, November 9th, 1992. Rahal's hopes for defending his championship and winning the 1993 Indy 500 rest on this car. Today, it will be tested on a remote racetrack in the Arizona desert. From years of experience, Rahal knows that every other team will challenge him with better, faster cars and exploit even the smallest advantage. Most Indy cars are designed and built by a single company in England. This car is one of a kind. The creation of a group of young engineers. It's a challenge that few take on. To meet it, Rahal has assembled a talented team which includes computer experts, design engineers, and a race car aerodynamicist.
Put that 5 element on just to have him see what he says about it on the new car. And see if we can balance it also.
Rahal's partner in this bold experiment is Rahal-Hogan.
All of racing is trying to get a little something more than someone else has, and it's a challenge that we've accepted. It's a challenge that we hope we will meet head on and will conquer, and if we do, it'll be wonderful.
There's an exclusivity to it that from a development standpoint, if nothing else, makes it better, although you live and die by it too, you know, in the sense that if it's not good, you can't go copy someone else either. Well, it'd be nice if this works, huh?
The car's test begins with the first joining of Rahal and his machine. The team has already spent 3 weeks designing a seat that is perfectly contoured to his body.
Yeah, we should just get out, put the other one in just so you feel the difference right now, but it looks like you.
The seat's very important because if you're flopping around, you can't read what the car's saying. You've got to be in there and you've got to really feel, and the only way you can do that is by having a very good seat. You don't sit in this car, you wear it.
Over $4 million has already been invested in Rahal's car. Its chassis is made of space-age carbon fiber. Its engine is no larger than our everyday sedans, yet it produces an astounding 800 horsepower. The team uses both radar and computers to help monitor the car's performance. But Rahal's seat-of-the-pants feel for the car will be the first real indication of its potential and the changes that may improve it.
Want to try just some overall downforce or the the delta plates?
The only thing I would say is that either it may want more rear spring
to get it to turn.
To help it down in there. And I'm thinking this understeer you get right at the end, the thing's just sitting there and squat, you know.
Falling over on the right rear too hard.
A good test driver has the ability to go out and drive consistently every lap so that he can feel the changes. And that's something that Bob has the ability to do, is go out and run a determined number of laps in the same way and tell you what's going on. It's so important.
I think the steering's so slow that I'm missing it a little bit. You know, I'm not used to having to turn so much. Remember at Indy when we tried that? I could never get it into the corner.
Too high.
Because I was always late.
Is that the right thing? I mean, are we hitting on the right thing?
Yeah, that helped.
Okay.
On this first test day, Rahal reports an uncomfortable feeling in the corners. And this is reflected in his lap times. The new car is 0.4 of a second slower than last year's car. Although it seems a tiny margin, compounded over a 500-mile race, the new car would be 7 miles behind at the finish. Rahal's problem is traction. The car doesn't provide the grip he needs to push it to the limit in the corners. It's a problem that any professional IndyCar driver understands. In high-speed corners, a modern Indy car develops over 2 tons of downforce. More than enough so that it could stick to the pavement even if the track were turned upside down. 2 months after the first test, Rahal is back at Phoenix with a modified version of his car. His lap times have improved significantly. The car is becoming competitive. At the end of the day, Rahal goes out for one last set of laps. Entering turn 1, at more than 170 miles an hour, he suddenly loses control.
Bobby's a bit sore in the shins and not very happy probably with himself, but you know, I guess just reached the limit of the car, and unfortunately the back end stepped out on it. You know, that stuff does happen, and we'll let him have one now and then. Make sure he's pushing it to the limit.
Oh, it just snapped. You know, got away from me. It's happened before, but although I must say I didn't give you a lot of warning. You know, it was 1 second it was good, and a split second later it was gone. You know, we attributed that to a change we made, but same token, you'd like to think that the thing wasn't that. You'd like to build some forgiveness into it, I think, you know.
March 21st, 1993. Surfers Paradise, Australia.
All right, the field comes into alignment now. The first race of the IndyCar season is about to begin. The green flag comes out.
This is the first of 3 races that lead to the big test at Indianapolis. Here, Rahal and his new car are joined for the first time in competition. On this course, temporarily laid out over city streets, the car finishes in 6th place. A good result for its first time out.
So now the field comes into full alignment. Scott Goodyear, his first pole, brings the field toward the green flag.
But 2 weeks later at Phoenix on the same track where Rahal crashed while testing the car, the results are quite different.
Rahal goes a lap down to the leaders very early on in this fight.
Let it be remembered that Rahal, right there in the center of your screen, we're on board with him now, won this race last year, and his success on the 1-mile ovals was the centerpiece of his championship effort. He is not doing well here today, and this is going to imperil his chances for defending his championship.
After only 29 laps, Rahal's car has become so loose that he is in danger of hitting the wall.
Comes in as well. Of course, he's been struggling with his car throughout the day.
Rahal is forced to abandon the race. A serious setback for the team. Two weeks later, it's Long Beach, California. On a race course similar to the one in Australia, the car reveals its true potential for the first time.
This is turning into an outstanding performance for Rahal. Suddenly, as you said, he's menacing for 3rd.
We did some good testing after Phoenix, and we started to get some feedback that started to tell us a little bit about the car. And then Long Beach, I think the whole weekend, we each day we made progress, and we could see it, and we started to feel good inside that we were starting to do something right. And Bobby drove a beautiful race, and we had good pit stops, we had good strategy.
During the last laps of the race, Rahal moves into 2nd place. The team knows that the car has made a big step forward.
Went from the lowest low at Phoenix to pretty good high at Long Beach. If nothing else, it just shows the intricacies and the sophistication involved and how the smallest things can make the biggest differences. And all this has shown this month, I think, in my estimation, is that while there are some very good things about the car, there are some things that aren't very good.
The car's failure at Phoenix haunts the team, in spite of near victory at Long Beach. Day and night, during the few weeks that remain before the Indy 500, they seek an answer. Is the problem mechanical? A defective part, perhaps, or is it more basic? A flaw in the car's overall design? The first clues come from computers that have captured the car's performance during each of the 3 races. By superimposing this record of performance on the layout of the tracks themselves, a pattern begins to emerge. Australia and Long Beach are twisting road courses, with high-speed straights and tight corners taken at slow speeds. The need for aerodynamic downforce is much diminished. The car's basic suspension becomes critical. And here, Rahal's new machine performed brilliantly. But ovals are built for constant high speed. In the corners, a car must produce enough balanced downforce to maintain its traction and stay on the course. And this is where Rahal's car may be failing.
After this month, and after Phoenix, you know, I think you would say, I think we've got a pretty good road racing car, but I don't think we have a very good high-speed car, and we need to address that issue.
To help solve the problem, aerodynamicist Gary Grossenbacher has designed a rear wing that he hopes will increase downforce at Indy. With little time left before the Indy 500, the wing is tested at Ohio State University's wind tunnel. It's attached to a sensor that will measure both the downforce and drag that the wing generates. Giant fans at one end of the wind tunnel produce an airflow of 150 miles an hour. Not quite up to the speeds at Indy, but fast enough to evaluate the wing's performance. The team seeks a trade-off between downforce, which is needed in the corners, and drag, which slows the car on the straights. Unfortunately, it's extremely difficult to increase one without the penalty of an increase in the other.
The other wings we've run, we haven't realized lift coefficients like this on the order of 1.1 to 1.2.
The wing's efficiency is measured by a ratio, which compares downforce, also called negative lift, against drag. For 226 pounds of negative lift, the wing generates only 30 pounds of drag, a ratio of 7 to 1.
Preliminary indications are that this is better, significantly probably.
But Grossenbacher knows that a wind tunnel simulates only the most ideal of conditions. What will happen when the wing is attached to the car? How will it affect overall balance on the track? Time has run out. The team must answer these questions in the heat of competition. Gasoline alley at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Working for a month, Rahal's team has practically produced a whole new car, which they hope will solve the problems experienced at Phoenix. Its underbody has been shaped to correct the car's dangerous instability. A new rear wing and a revised front wing complete the aerodynamic package. Grossenbacher is anxious to find out how these changes will perform on the track. Rahal's top speed at the end of the long straight is good, 232 miles an hour. So aerodynamic drag has been reduced. But from the cockpit, Rahal reports the car is pushing in the corners, as if it might swing wide and hit the wall.
Especially as I started to go quicker, I didn't think that the car was, like I came in there and I'm going, holy shit. You know, I mean, it went through there all right, but it just, everything seemed to be happening real quick. Now that could be me.
Yeah.
But even getting into 2 was better now. Mm-hmm. But I still need to tie it, make it a little more comfortable everywhere.
Those are some pretty big lifts. Really? Look at in the 3, the wobble.
Rahal's discomfort is reflected in computer data that records his performance all around the track.
That's the first lift on the throttle.
The computer shows that Rahal is lifting his foot from the throttle in the corners. His speed is almost 15 miles an hour too slow.
Another lap, like we were doing.
Your corner speed in turn 1 and 2 is really low. And all I'm saying is, you know, I appreciate you saying that when you come out of the corner, it was way down in revs, because obviously the corner speeds are low.
The car tried to get away from me, and I really had to get out of the throttle. It's been a frustrating experience for us.
Well, that's before we took the wing out.
As you turn into the corner, the car begins to roll and pitch, where it begins to tuck the front end, and as it does, the left rear comes up and gives the car a very unsettled feeling, which is what we have been sort of feeling with this car all along. This could be a chassis imbalance, could be an aero imbalance. You know, they're not separable. You know, one can lead to the other.
Thursday, May 13th. After struggling all week, Rahal's team finds the elusive balance he needs to drive fast. In the cool at the end of the day, he turns one golden lap at 220.5 miles an hour.
We felt we had made progress and that the car was beginning to respond to things.
Just because of the bottoming in 3 mostly? Oh, that red car, yeah.
You know, you do one thing and you get an effect, and it's a positive effect. We were running competitively with what other people could run in the main.
We're into the real fine-tuning now. We're in that window that we need to be in. And yesterday to today, we picked up a little over 2 miles an hour with some very small changes. And so from there, hopefully the next 3 or 4 miles an hour is the same thing, just small changes.
But the temperature rises on Friday, the day before qualifying. In the heat, the car reveals an evil side of her nature once again. Rahal struggles to achieve 216 miles an hour.
Rahal 214.
Friday, weather changes, what have you, different story. You know, the car all of a sudden doesn't respond to what we did the previous day. It doesn't, you know, do what we think it's going to do.
On a cooler day, we seem to be able to dial the car in pretty good. We get pretty good grip, we get pretty good downforce. It seems when the weather gets warm, gets hot, this car is more sensitive than some of the other cars we've had.
Maybe need a little more overall downforce.
Okay. All right, well, all we can do in the front right now is go up into gurney with these wings.
Finding the precise adjustments to balance a car at Indy is like playing a chess game in 3 dimensions. One dimension is the car's aerodynamics. Another, its suspension. And the third is the changing environment in which the car must operate. All Indy cars are sensitive to temperature changes. As the temperature increases, air density decreases, so the wings and underbody produce less downforce. In the heat, Rahal feels his car once again pushing outward toward the wall.
And I still need, I think, more overall downforce.
This is the last day of testing before qualifying. The situation is now critical.
It's very inconsistent. He doesn't really have the confidence to just drive it into the corner. He doesn't know where he's going to end up with it.
It depends on the day. You know, one day I have confidence in it, one day I don't, because when the day it doesn't react the way you think it's going to react, then all of a sudden you're saying, oh, well, what in the hell's it going to do?
May 16th, 1993. With the car's problems still unsettled, Rahal must attempt his first qualifying run. As he takes to the track, his team is concerned not only for his speed, but for his safety. He qualifies in 25th place out of 33 cars that will be allowed to race. His speed, 217.2, is disappointingly slow. During the next week of practice, the solution to the car's problems continues to elude the team.
You know, I'm just sort of emotionally wrung out right now. It's a little frustrating. It seems like we're always a day behind.
If we can get the push out of it, I mean, it's instant lap speed. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
You know, we're used to running up front. We're used to qualifying well. And right now, it's very frustrating and maybe even somewhat embarrassing, truthfully.
We were up against the wall, and you know, you don't get the results you're looking for. So you know, everybody gets a bit disappointed because of that. Just want to take a set and throw it around the corner. Yeah.
As the cars begin their 10-mile qualification run.
I know. Just don't know why it won't do that. I don't know why it won't do that.
It has been a very difficult month. I can't tell you how many nights I've awakened at 3 in the morning wondering, thinking, what is it? What is it looking for?
In the waning night hours, the car is completely torn down in a futile search for a broken part that might explain its deviant personality. The mechanics name her Sybil because of her changing temperament. Stable and poised for a few laps, only to turn dangerously inconsistent on the next. The last day of qualifying. 33 cars will be allowed to race, and 33 cars have now qualified, with several yet to go. Rahal is in last place. If just one car beats his speed, he'll be out of the race. 6 cars try, 6 cars fail in the last hour before the track closes. His slot in the race now seems secure. But now driver Eddie Cheever begins his qualifying run. Cheever is Rahal's most formidable opponent. He is experienced and courageous. And in this last-ditch effort, he is determined to qualify. Cheever presses to the limit.
It is fast enough. The defending national champion and former Indy winner Bobby Rahal. What story the next 10 minutes will bring?
Uncertain about his car's performance, Rahal must once again attempt to qualify. The morning has been overcast and cool, but now, as Rahal takes to the track, the clouds thin and the temperature rises. This will be the last qualifying attempt. Rahal will have 4 timed laps to average better than 217.23 miles an hour. Rahal's first lap is 217.36, just fast enough. On the next lap, his car becomes unstable in turn 4 and swings wide toward the wall. Rahal lifts off the gas. His speed drops to 216.8, 0.4 of a mile an hour too slow. On the last 2 laps, he struggles to make up the difference.
Now for the complete story on Bobby Rahal. 4th lap, back up to 216, but it's too slow. He is not in the start.
Bobby Rahal is out of the race. Neither Rahal or his team has ever experienced such a defeat. After 7 months of unceasing effort, it leaves them stunned. In this moment of humiliation, rival consoles rival. Beneath the veneer of fierce competition, these are comrades in arms. Seconds from the worst defeat in his racing career, Rahal chokes back his emotion to present a trackside interview.
It's going to be an odd Memorial Day for me, not being in this race, but we'll be back next year. It's going around, you know, you saw the people in the stands clapping, and that's what makes this place so special, the fans. So I'd like to thank them for backing us this month, and we'll go get them again.
Racing is a cruel sport, Rahal has often said, a sport in which winning is everything. But in this moment of defeat, he shows there is much more to being a true champion. By the end of the '93 season, Bobby Rahal placed 4th in championship points, a remarkable recovery from his defeat at Indy. For the moment, Rahal has abandoned the dream of building his own car, but his quest continues. Just a month after the series ends, the team secretly tests a new engine. It is an irony that a sport that seems so fierce may demand the most delicate touch. That a contest that seems so individual cannot be won without the enduring effort of so many others. That as our machines evolve, they may push us yet to a new realization of our own human potential.